The Founding Fathers, American Revolution, our Constitution, our history, America. Thanks so much for tuning in as we discuss the people, places, events, and battles that turned 13 separate colonies into the greatest nation on earth, the United States.
Just a reminder that these Patriot Power Freedom Files are really short audio clips from our video series, the Patriot Power Freedom Files, which is on TikTok and YouTube and all over the place. Just a way for you to get even a little more information, but in a shorter time frame. So enjoy this next episode. Today's topic is not necessarily about American Revolution history, but it will include American history and assassination attempts. One of these assassination attempts, you won't even believe what actually happened. So make sure you watch all the way through to the end to hear about that one. The assassination attempt on President Donald Trump yesterday will go down in history as a very, very dark day for this country. It's sad. It's deplorable, and words are hard to find to describe just how divided we are as a country. Don't be fooled, though. I think they want us to be divided. They want us to fight, bicker, and never even look for common ground. I believe it's time that we all stand up for our freedom, our rights, and support one another, regardless of how much we may think our position is the only right one. I've seen many online cheering when Donald Trump was shot, when initial reports came out, and that's just disgusting and sick. And it's sad. I'm not a supporter of Biden, but to be happy or excited about someone being assassinated or an attempt on Trump's or even Biden's life is appalling. There's not a place for that in our country. Our country has been very divisive from the start, going back to the Declaration of Independence and when it was being talked about. The U.S. Constitution was almost not passed. So being divided and having these major differences is not anything new. So don't believe that this time in our history is something new or something worse and that it's beyond repair. The assassination attempt on Trump is the first time since 1981, but I wondered if you were aware just how many attempts, some successful and many not, have actually taken place. For example, in 1835, Richard Lawrence attempted to shoot President Andrew Jackson at the Capitol. Luckily, both of his pistols misfired. In 1865, I think we all know, Abraham Lincoln was killed in Ford's Theater by John Wilkes Booth. But did you know that there had been two other attempts on Lincoln's life that failed, one in 1861 and one in 1864? In 1881, James Garfield was shot twice, and after months of suffering and due to infection and inadequate medical care, he died. In 1901, William McKinley was shot and died due to gangrene a week after his initial injury. In 1909, a plot was foiled to assassinate William Howard Taft, and in 1912, although not a sitting president, Teddy Roosevelt was shot while on the campaign trail seeking yet another term. After being shot, he continued to give his speech, and I'm not talking a 5-minute speech. He continued for 84 minutes, which to me is just truly remarkable. In 1933, Franklin Roosevelt was shot at. Every bullet missed him, but the mayor of Chicago was killed during that attempt. In 1950, Harry Truman escaped assassination, and in 1963, John F. Kennedy, as we all are aware of, was killed. In 1975, there were two attempts made on Gerald Ford's life. Both assailants were women, which I found quite interesting. In 1981, Ronald Reagan was shot, but he survived. In 1993, George H.W. Bush had an attempt foiled while he was visiting Kuwait. And in 2005, a grenade was thrown onto the stage where George W. Bush was speaking, but the grenade failed to detonate. Then yesterday, the attempt on Trump. So unfortunately, we can add 2024 to this timeline. I love this country and obviously focus on the forming of it with my Patriot Power Podcast and this, the Freedom Files. I'm a veteran who believes there is no better country in the world, even with all the issues, turmoil, and flaws that it has. I do believe and support in the United States Constitution, and I honor the Declaration of Independence. I honor and remember all of our founding fathers, and for that matter, founding mothers, and the thousands of people who stood up for liberty and justice where the vast majority won't be known or even spoken about. I ask that we all take a breath and reflect on yesterday's assassination attempt. Just think, had the bullet been a hair's length closer, President Trump could have not made it out alive. And I dare to even think what would be taking place today in our country had that happened. It's my estimation that God may have intervened not only to save Trump, but to save our country. If you aren't a believer, I'm not going to try to convince you. That's between God's timeline and you. But if you are a believer, I ask that you pray for our country, all of its leaders at the local, state, and federal level, and I ask that you pray for the safety, security, peace, and freedom of all U.S. citizens. I think it's quite clear that we have all failed to accomplish what I think God designed for our country. So prayer is a fantastic place to start anew.
Are you a hunter? Do you like to fish, camp, or hike? One common obstacle in doing these activities is transporting and storing food. Well, Back 40 Farms can help you with this. Their organic freeze-dried food is small and super lightweight, making it a snap to have quality, healthy, and delicious food while you are enjoying the outdoors. With our freeze-dried organic chicken eggs, you can put the equivalent of 48 eggs in your backpack and would hardly notice they were there. Small, lightweight, and delicious, they have become super popular for those on the go, and being so high in protein, they are perfect for these outdoor activities or for those wanting to increase their emergency food supply. Their eggs have been featured on NPR, The Today Show, and other media outlets, with a wide variety of veggies, soup mixes, fruit, eggs, and more to choose from. Visit their online country store at www.bffidaho.com and have your order in a couple of days. With your purchase, you are getting incredible food that can last decades, and you are supporting a small farm that is veteran-owned and family-run. A link to their website and store is located in the show notes, as well as this podcast description. Use coupon code PATRIOT, all caps, to save 15% off your next order.
Thanks for listening, and hope that you tune in next time with us here at the Patriot Power Podcast. Make sure that you hit subscribe so you'll get notified when our new episodes are available for you. And we hope that you check out our websites, which include our show notes, links, documents, and more at patriotpowerpodcast.com or ilovegeorgewashington.com. Until next time, hope that you and your family have a blessed week. And remember, be safe and tell a veteran thanks for their service.